Hey, what up? It's Guido. So how's your week? The first week of the league. Hope you're having a good time. So I'm playing the Dark Pact Necromancer, or I was playing. And I wanted to make this video to share my experience, share my thoughts, maybe also give some tips so that you know what to expect when you get into this build. Overall, I'm actually made it to the end game of doing red maps, 14-16 maps, and based on my gear or how much I've invested in the build, I would say the build is good. That's the good news. The bad news is that I did not enjoy the build at all. I didn't understand why for a long while I was playing, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to play this. It's like but you know, I tried out a different build a little bit that actually hits and does something, and it was way more fun. And I was like, okay, yeah, now I see it. And one of the reasons why I didn't like the build is that you can see it in the background, is that I don't really understand it. I don't really understand anything. Like, I don't know what's going on. It's just, I'm playing a build, I'm clicking something, but something happens, but I don't know what is going on. It's so confusing. It's just like random stuff happening. Like, it's kind of unpredictable, and I want to play and I want to interact with the game, kind of at least somewhat predictable way. And if I made a mistake, then okay, I made a mistake. But playing this build, for example, I was fighting one of the bosses, and it was just like the boss is not looking at me. He's hitting the minions, and I'm like, I can stand still or I should move, and then I stand still, and he just like turns around and I'm dead. And I was like, what do you want me to do there? Like, should I move or stop? It's just like very unpredictable, weird. And the clear speed was also kind of slow. Really, it's like the damage, I'll show you a little bit later as well, because the damage is delayed, so you don't I'm never sure how much should I spam the skeletons in order to kill them before moving on. It's always like a gamble. And then, you know, you have map mods, monsters get more life, and then it's like completely different. It's really weird to do and to play. Another good part about it though is that it was quite tanky to build. Actually, I was surprised at the end. I was very like skeptical at the beginning. It was like very squishy, but at the end I was like, oh yeah, this is actually quite tanky, and that's thanks to getting the trigger wand that triggers the bone offering. And when I got that, I was consistently very tanky. I probably, with the current gear, I could probably bring the character to level 95. Like, I'm not sure about, but beyond that, of course on solo cell phone. But I could bring it to 95. I'm not sure about beyond that. I'll need some better gear, more damage, maybe some more mobility, more life, energy shield, something like that. Because sometimes I do get killed, and I'm guessing that sometimes it just happened that I didn't have my bone armor on, and just like what happened. That's my guess. It's not 100% consistent. So those are kind of sad moments. In the end, I did not manage to respec the tree that I expected. In the last video, I made a comment of what I want to respec the tree in. Basically, I realized that I don't have, for solo cell phones purposes, I don't have enough gear or availability of some kind of specific gear to make the build crit, to work with crit. And I also wanted to spec into some survivability, so I actually went away from crit completely. I used even controlled destruction, which reduces the crit chance but gives more spell damage, and I think that's better than going crit, especially for clearing, because I feel like the bossing was fine. I was just trying to figure out how to clear, and I don't think there's a like really good solution unless you get cluster jewels, and then in cluster jewels you get some explosion. There was one explosion node. You try to get that, but you know, like when I'm starting the league right now, I don't have cluster jewels available. Yeah, and I was planning to also go to cluster jewels if I were to play. They seemed better than what's available on the skill tree. And let's actually maybe jump right now into skill tree. I'll show around the skill tree and show me what I was thinking, where I wanted to go with this. So I'm at level 93 right now. This is my current gear. I got actually Carcass Jack as a 6-link because I just dropped a couple of them and I did the Scourge mechanic. Got 6-link, easy 6-link. It's pretty good. Has a decent life, actually good decent energy shield evasion rating for starting off. It has 7% damage and increased area of effect, which is it's pretty good for starters. I was trying to craft a new one. We'll get to that in a second. But first I wanted to actually go this way in the skill tree, pick up these nodes. Maybe this one, maybe this cluster jewel. This was my general idea, that this would be better than spending this 1, 2, 3 points traveling to these nodes, picking up these nodes which seemed not good, and then these that this one doesn't, for example, give it any block even, and spell damage and just 3% block. So didn't feel like a good investment. But later on I realized that this Ghost Reaver is just really, really, really strong. This is really strong. I like the Ghost Reaver is, and this tree is the reason why I haven't gone on the other side of the tree. It just makes my survivability and regeneration like so much better. Like I never get my life below energy shield basically. Energy shield sucks up all the small hits and it just regens up very, very nicely. I just need to hit a couple of enemies, which most of the time happens anyway, and the life regenerates up. But I was still planning to go away from this, and I would do that by speccing Wicked Ward in. Like that was my plan. I didn't want to be here. I could pick up Wicked Ward, maybe go this direction, or even better, if I had some clusters, I can go here. And then I think this would be good as this one. It could get, but the only issue with this is, and why I didn't go there before, is that I didn't manage to craft my chest. I got this 6-link, I tried different crafts to craft it, and what I was looking for is good life, a good energy shield roll, which is increased or adds energy shield, free prefix for life as extra energy shield 10%, and I would also need faster start of energy shield recharge, because with this right now this would take 2 seconds for the energy shield to start, and which is quite long. But if I could get some kind of modifiers either on chest or on the shield, then I could spec into this. The energy shield recharge start would be pretty nice, and I could use that and save a lot of points from this side. I didn't want to craft my shield, but I think it's really, really good with high energy shield and life rolls. I wanted to keep this for now, so, and I wanted to have a better chest as well. Chest anyway. So tried that craft, didn't manage to actually pull it off. Got tired of the build and gonna play something else. Other than that, I actually spec'd also in this part of the tree, and the big reason why I spec'd here is to actually get some kind of stun avoidance, because the way I play is that I like to run in and be in the middle of the monsters instead of standing by side. I think it was faster. I'm just low playing like that more, and if I got stunned, and I did get stunned a lot, I couldn't play like that. So I decided to go for this tree, and in order to get away from this, my plan was to get the stun immunity modifier on boots. You can get it with essences or influenced, or there was another gear piece where you can get stun immunity percentage, right? I don't have 100%. I don't think I will need 100%, but this was like, I have 85, including the stun immunity from this tree. I have 85, and it's pretty good. Before that, I think, and that in the early game especially, that really helped me with survivability, because I was not getting stunned anymore. I could move around and play more freely like that. So if I go back to this side of the tree, this is pretty good. So you got some life. I needed 1 more point for this minion. This is really good damage now. This is okay, and this is actually needed because I'm not using any mana flasks. And This is a good node because I can reserve all of my auras, which is Discipline, Skitterbot, Zealotry, and Clarity. And this is like the max Clarity. Still have some mana left, and this is the one requirement for that, and I can spam, and I will, as you see, I will run out of mana because of these skills that are from the trigger, and they cost more mana. So that's the only reason why it actually goes low. Other than that, it kind of stays pretty nicely up. And in order to achieve this, I have spec this one. It reduces mana cost of skills, and I also have Anointed Dreamer. The reason why I anointed this is because I don't have good oils yet, and this is very cheap way how to just get the mana cost and regeneration up, so that I don't actually need any life flasks, and it's very cheap. Like I don't have good oils, so like, oh yeah, let's spec this, and you'll have that. Another option would be if you actually went down there in this life nodes also give reduced cost of skills, which should also help a lot with the mana in order for you to not have to use mana flask. Basically, this was the other option, but at the end I started to doubt this and not like this, because these nodes actually seem really bad. Like it gives 2% block chance, and I mean elemental resistance. I don't need elemental resistance. I can get it somewhere else, and 2% is not that high. And this, maybe this is decent, but this one doesn't even go any block, so it doesn't feel good. This actually doesn't feel good. I think it was better before, or maybe it's, I don't know, but doesn't feel worth going 1, 2, 3 whatever points here. Maybe it's worth picking because you can come here, but I do still think that's the reason why it's better, would be better at least, to go into cluster jewels. If I look at the cluster jewels, my plan, if I were to play, I would try to get unspeakable gifts, cluster jewel, to have some kind of explosions. Maybe that would help with clearing. Maybe you can try to get it some other places, but you know, this is chaos damage, so that's I scale that a little bit. It's kind of nice, and the other ones are also pretty decent. You can find another one. I was thinking was Seal Vendor. I would probably use this because I'm using an Unleash. I think an Unleash is good for clearing, because you can spawn skeletons, you unleash, and then you just move on to the next pack. At least that was my plan. I needed a little bit more damage to do it comfortably on higher tier maps, but that was my plan. Just unleash, boom, and move on to the next pack. Couple of stacks, build up, and I can unleash it again. And I think unleash was pretty good also for big bosses, because some of the bosses, yeah, you can stand still, and then intensify is much better, of course, but if there are some fights you move around, which is natural, I think, then unleash is better, and I played that for clear as well. That was good. If I look at the medium jewels, there are a bunch of good minion life jewels, especially this one. Minions created recently cannot be damaged, so for 4 seconds opponents can hit them. You get more damage from this as well, and I think it was 4% minion life equals 1% damage increase. So I did some little bit math, so it means that this is 5% more damage. And if I'm looking at the small cluster jewels, I was actually thinking of somehow squeezing any grace into this build, and maybe using these notables to reserve the mana efficiency, increase the mana reservation efficiency, and try to get those in. So that was my plan. One of the skill gems that it was really good for damage, but I didn't like, was Chain. And because Chain is good for damage, because every chain repeats basically the damage, but the downside to Chain is that it takes away your minion's life, so you can't really spam that as much because it bounces up more. And the other downside of using Chain is that it takes more time to actually finish the cast. This is a little bit faster, 2 links faster, because like, and I think the biggest problem with this Dark Pact in general skill is the slowness of the chain. It's just so slow. It's like bing, 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 bing. Like, come on, I'm done. I'm gonna move on. Like, stop chaining. It's so slow. Yeah, that's the biggest issue probably for clearing as well. So if I had the option or way, I would love to get rid of chain and get some other damage gem in, maybe play around something like that. If you wanna play this build, or what I have for damage in this build other than this chest and links and tree, is a pretty decent actually one with actually tier 1 increased spell damage, some okay cast speed. I'm pretty happy about that, and the mana also helped me with the reservation. Then I have +2 socketed minion gems, just dropped this absolutely insane actually helmet, and I have also 21 corrupted skeleton gem. That's kind of my damage, and of course withering step. You can use withering totems again. I wanted to have some kind of more movement speed, mobility during maps, and that's why I picked withering step. Totems would be definitely better for bossing, and if I would to do some big boss fights, I would probably actually switch. If I will do Cyrus, I would probably pick up the gems and actually do the wither with spell totem. I just switch around a little bit my gear. Compared to previous video, I also switched into summon Chaos Golem instead of the Stone Golem. The regeneration, I realized the regeneration is complete garbage compared to anything, and so 5% physical damage reduction is much better. Regarding my Spectres and my Animate Guardian that I'm starting to use, I'm still using Carnage Chieftain. I'm still using Undying Evangelist. At the end I've started to feel like I'm actually tanky enough to survive him or survive not having him, so maybe it was good to switch away now. But the third minion I picked up is the Pale Seraphim. I'll try to get a link in the description about it. You can get it from just the Scourge maps. You have Scourge map that doesn't deplete. No, you can find it there. And apparently it gives some kind of attack that increases damage taken to enemies by 15% or something like that. So I got this recommended, and I was like, okay, let's pick that up and let's try to do that. For my Animate Guardian, I have picked up what I can find on the ground because I don't have all the items available. So I picked what the best I can get, and these are the 4 items I'm using on him right now. The best one is the Dying Breath. It gives nearby allies gain 18% increased damage and some aura effect. I'm using just Leather Cup for him to have resistances, whatever. I'm using this cloak in order to make Consecrated Ground. When he blocks, he has some block chance, and with Consecrated Ground, he gets a lot of regeneration. And I also thought maybe I could use these boots, which give shocked ground where he moves around, and with this shocked ground, you can see here, the shocked ground here, the enemies take 15% increased damage. But it's kind of unreliable, 2 seconds, and he has to like run, he can't stand still and so on. But I thought maybe sometimes it's gonna be useful, better than nothing. And so that's it. I will leave the path of building link into the description if you want to check out more of what I'm doing with my build. Of course, I could take the build to the next level, for example, easily. I don't have any gem levels on my wand. I could get that craft, and there's probably also multiple ways how I can improve the build. It's just also 1 point away from some good minion node. But like I mentioned before, I don't like the playstyle. I'm not gonna keep on playing this and improving. I'm trying out Ice Shot Deadeye right now because I got a good unique for that. We'll see how that goes, and if you keep on playing, I hope you're gonna enjoy that and you will be able to take the build to the next level. Thank you for watching. Hope this was useful, and bye bye.